We want to continue the program now, speaking with Elizabeth Wright. She's the Associate Dean for the Department of Education at Damon College, and she's embarking on a venture to open a charter school in Buffalo, New York, Aurora Academy Charter High School. And thank you for joining us today on Issues and Views. Elizabeth, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you're the Assistant Dean of Students at Damon, and now was this your idea to start the charter school, or?
Actually, it's a collaborative idea. We've been working with a university in Finland called the University of Jyväskylä. It's the oldest teacher preparation university in Finland since 2012.
Wow.
And the reason we got involved is the college has a relationship with Earl Mack of the Earl Mack Foundation, and Ambassador Mack is the former ambassador to Finland, sent by the United States. So he was very interested in seeing some of the really successful aspects of the Finnish educational system come to the United States. And one of the things that I wanted to share with your listeners is the fact that Finland basically right now has one of the number one educational systems in the world.
Wow.
So they're doing something right over there, and it doesn't involve standardized tests.
Okay. All right. Which obviously you're not in favor of.
Well, it's not that I'm not in favor of them. I think that there's a place for testing, and I think we're putting a lot of weight on testing right now in ways that Finland doesn't do. Of course, if you're going to open a charter school here in New York State, you have to follow the laws of New York State, and that will involve testing. But in terms of the culture and climate of the school and some of the fundamental aspects of the school and how we structure it, that's not going to be the total focus of the school. And I'm happy to share with your listeners about what we're trying to do there.
So what's the difference between charter school and just a regular public school?
In a charter school, the charter school is funded with public dollars, with tax dollars, just like regular public schools.
Okay.
The charter school cannot pick and choose who comes to that school. I know a lot of times people get confused thinking that charter schools sort of cream off the top. It doesn't work like that. Charter schools have to take, it's a first come, first served basis. So, for example, this school, when we start, we'll start with 9th and 10th grade. We're going to take 150 students per grade. And so the first 300 students that sign up, we have to take. And if there are more people that sign up than we have slots, we have to create a lottery and fairly choose from that lottery. We can't just say, oh, we're gonna select John because we like John.
So do you have all the applicants?
No, we're not at that phase yet, which is why I'm on the air with you. We are trying to get the right to put in an application to the state of New York. And in order to do that, we have to put together a document called a letter of intent. And then if they like what we say in that letter of intent, they'll let us move forward with the process. And part of the process is reaching out to the community, which is why I'm here on the air with you, because we know your listeners listen to WBLK, and we want to be sure that people know what we're trying to do and why we're trying to do it.
Well, yeah, well, actually, this will work out well for you because not only is this airing on WBLK, but it's airing on all the Town Square Media stations. It's also airing on Jack FM. It's airing on WYRK, and it's also airing on Mix 96. So you're on 4 stations right now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Everybody in Buffalo is hearing you.
I'm glad for that because, we do have a message and we have a new way of approaching things that I think could make a difference here in Buffalo. When our groups first started meeting in 2012, we were talking about the dropout rate here in the city of Buffalo, and that was our major focus. We have about a 51% dropout or 51% graduation rate in the city of Buffalo, and we can do better than that.
Yeah,
that's not okay.
Now, charter schools are normally geared towards inner city, right? It seems that way. I don't know of any charter schools out in the suburban areas.
There aren't as many in suburbia, but there are quite a few in rural areas because you have a lot of high needs for students in those areas as well. I know for us, our plan is to create a community-based model. We're looking to get to know the parents, get to know the families, keep the total population of the school at 500. We're not looking to have a behemoth school that's really large. The other thing that's interesting about the Finnish model at the high school level, which they would call upper secondary school, what's really interesting about that is that they block their schedule. So instead of having, a 40-minute class and then a 4-minute break and then a 40-minute class and then a 4-minute break, you have a 90-minute instructional block and then a 15 to 20-minute break.
Oh, okay.
And it's a more humane schedule for the students.
Yeah.
And it also allows something that's a really big part of the Finnish system, which is project-based learning. What that lets you do is, instead of just having a teacher up in front, talking about a subject matter, giving a lecture or a didactic instruction, what you have is the ability for the students then to receive some information and then work in small groups and meaningfully work together. This school will be linked with a sister high school in Finland. So we will have the opportunity for students not only to work in small groups with one another in the school, but work internationally with other high school students.
Wow, that sounds very, very interesting. Now, how do we get this done?
Well, the first step for us is to file our letter of intent on June 23rd, and we have to get the word out in the community and get the community's viewpoint on whether or not they think this would be a good idea in the city of Buffalo. Right now, we're looking to locate on the east side.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you have a building?
We do not have a building, but we have been working with a development. Neil Development owns the old Pinnacle Charter School site. We're hoping to if we're successful moving forward, we're hoping to secure that spot.
Where is that?
That is located off of Genesee on Ash Street.
Oh, okay.
And right beside it, actually, is the Maritime Charter School, high school, which is a Navy military-based charter high school. So we would hope that we could collaborate with them as well. The other piece that I wanted to share with your viewers, which would make this school a little bit different, is the idea of having also a blocked calendar. Right now, every student who's in high school, if they want to graduate with a Regents diploma, has to take a certain number of Regents exams. And those are year-long courses, and it's really high stakes because you either pass or you fail the Regents exam. What we're looking to do is create our weekly schedule so that you have 5-week blocks of instruction followed by a week of curriculum-based testing, so that the students that are in these Regents classes, after 5 weeks, they're going to know where they stand with that block of material. We call that chunking the material, so that you don't have to wait to the end to know if you're going to pass or fail that exam. You're going to, know all the way along how you're doing in the material. And that really helps students that have learning difficulties, like learning disabilities, to chunk the material rather than just throw it at them all at once. And also we're looking to build in this idea, I mentioned the project-based learning. We want to have some meaningful projects that are called STEAM projects. You might have heard of the term STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. Well, we want to add art into that.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So that someone who might be interested, say, in architecture, could work on a project and tie the art in with it.
Oh, okay. That's great, because the arts are definitely lost in the public schools. Now, does that include music as well? Absolutely.
One of the things that I'm really interested in, and we're hoping we have a meeting set up to talk with Albright Knox Art Gallery coming up in June. I'm very interested in the idea of visual literacy. And, you think about our students nowadays, they come into the classroom usually with some sort of technology device, digital device, like their phone. They have images streaming at them all the time, whether it's through, a music video or some sort of website or YouTube or Twitter. They need some discernment on what those images mean and an ability to really engage with what they're looking at and decide, is this something of value that I really want to be looking at or not?
Right.
And I think that's a whole new frontier for us as educators to be getting into with students, but I think it's critically important. I mean, more and more you see students who even communicate through text messages that don't even have words. They have emoticons or emojis, right? And you can say a whole statement with an emoji, and you didn't even use a word. So, you know, what does that mean to us as a culture? There's some really interesting things there. The other thing that I wanted to talk briefly about was this idea of a community-based school with appropriate supports in the building. We're looking to partner with service agencies and have them located in the building. So if our students do have an issue, whether it's a drug addiction issue or an emotional support need, or maybe they're experiencing some sort of abuse or neglect situation, we have the resources in the space to meet those needs. And we're not going to say, okay, here's a business card, go across town and, you know, deal with it over there. We want the school to be the community center where people come and their needs are met in the school.
So now this initial letter of intent is due June 24th, you said?
June 23rd, yeah.
June 23rd. So how can the general public help with that?
Well, the best way that they could help us is to get on our website, and our website, it's kind of a strange URL for it, but it's tinyurl, so tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com, and then a slash, and then Aurora Academy CH, and that's all one word, lowercase, AURORAACADEMYCH. So tinyurl.com/Aurora Academy CH. And if you go there, we've got information about the school, our mission statement, our proposed board of trustees, and there's a link to a 5-question survey.
Okay.
If your listeners fill out that survey and say it's called an interest survey, very simple, 5 questions. If they say they're interested, their responses get logged in our database, and then we give that information to the state that people in our community would like to see this type of school. And there's also all kinds of information about the Finnish system. We're also on Twitter and Facebook, so people can follow us there as well.
Okay. Well, I'm going to help the listeners out real quick because I missed it. And I'm sure some other people did too. So if you missed it, grab your pen. I have mine in hand. So it's tinyurl.com/Aurora
Academy.
AuroraAcademy.com?
Nope, Aurora Academy CH. For some reason, when you go to tinyurl.com, the .com's up front and then the slash, which is backward to how we usually think of it.
Okay, so here we go. It's tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com /
Yes.
How do you spell Aurora?
AURORA, and then Academy, ACADEMYCH, and the CH is for charter.
Okay, so tinyurl.com / Aurora, AURORA, Academy, ACADEMYCH.
Absolutely, and it's all lowercase.
Okay, and is there a phone number someone can call if they still didn't get it and they want to call?
Absolutely, they can call my office.
Okay.
If you call 716-839 8442, that's my direct line. Leave your name and number. If I don't pick up, usually I do pick up. And I will send you any information that you would like to have about the school.
Okay, so that number again is 716-839-8442.
Correct.
And that is Elizabeth Wright's personal number at her work. And she'll fill you in on what you may have missed in terms of that address or how you can help out with this venture. So this questionnaire that you can fill out at the website, it's only 5 questions, and I'll tell you the questions. Do you live in City of Buffalo? Do you have children who are school age? Do you think that a new charter high school like Aurora Academy is needed in the City of Buffalo? And if you know the name and contact information for a community organization that hosts meets where we could talk about Aurora Academy, please list their name, a contact person, so on and so forth. So, that would be your church or...
Absolutely. we're willing to go anywhere. I've been to several block club meetings. I've been to health fairs. I'll be at Juneteenth coming up. Anywhere where a group of concerned citizens is meeting that would be interested in helping with this. And the other thing is, assuming this takes off, and I pray that it does for our city. If it does take off, we're going to want a parent advisory board. So anybody who's a leader in the community who'd be interested in reaching out to me, I'd love to talk to you as well. Okay,
great. So let's get this information out once again. What we're doing this morning, we're talking with Elizabeth Wright. She's the Associate Dean of Students, or Associate Dean for the Department of Education at Damon College. But she and a group of people are embarking upon opening a charter school in the city of Buffalo called Aurora Academy Charter High School, and they need your help. As she mentioned, there's a questionnaire online at her website. I'm going to give it to you again. The website is tinyurl.com /Aurora Academy CH. And if you didn't get that whole thing down, her phone number is 716-839-8442. And you can leave a message or just ask for Elizabeth Wright, and she'll inform you as to what you can do to help out.
There is one other piece that I did want to mention briefly to this, and you mentioned my title. I train teachers. That's what we do in my department, and I'm working also with Niagara University right now. We're trying to collaborate in order to make this charter school what we would call a true professional development school for pre-service teachers. So what would end up happening is if students that are seniors are interested in becoming teachers, they could start taking their teaching courses at any of our partner universities and colleges as a senior, and then roll up into their undergrad and grad programs, but then do their student teaching back in the school. Because what we're trying to do is create a community of lifelong teachers and scholars who want to work back in the city. And we want our best and brightest to do that. So that's the plan with this school, and I think it's another key component. We had 2 graduate students this year travel over to Finland, and they spent a semester there in their study abroad.
That's cool.
And the interesting piece about that is we did a research study about how that experience has shifted their attitudes and values about teaching. And that's some of the evidence we'll be using for why this model is a really good one. And, those students, they had an amazing experience. And again, thanks to the Mac Foundation, and they were able to go over there and not only experience the central part of Finland, which is where the University of Jyväskylä is, but also they had travel opportunities to St. Petersburg, Russia, which is right nearby, Helsinki, the capital of Finland, and also Lapland, which is way north. And they have such great experiences, and we'll be doing our exit interviews with them in the next couple of weeks. Oh, cool. That's really cool. You're going to be at Juneteenth on June 13th at Martin Luther King Park also. Absolutely. I'll have a table there. Damon College has a Center for Sustainable Communities and Civic Engagement, actively involved in the Fruit Belt community. And so Sharon Benz from that program said, hey, if you want to reach out to people, you need to come to Juneteenth and see what it's all about. So I will be there. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Real good information here for the community interest in Aurora Academy Charter High School in Buffalo. And I'm going to give you the information once again before we close. Go to the website, tinyurl.com /Aurora Academy CH. And there's a short questionnaire there that you can fill out, and that will help you prove to the state that people are interested in having this school as a part of the Buffalo community, correct? Absolutely, and that's really what we need. In fact, we won't be successful without support from the community. If you need more information and you want to speak to Ms. Wright directly, you can call her at 716-839-8442.
and that's Elizabeth
Yeah,
Wright.
there was one other thing I forgot to mention that I think would be really important for the listeners, which is, one of the things we really want to do with the students is take time every week to have them meet with their peers and talk about the issues that they're facing. And we want that to be a research-based experience. And one of the curriculum we want to instill in that time period is this idea of grit and perseverance. And there's a lot out in literature right now about that. And the thing that we want to instill in our students is the idea that, and this is research-based, the biggest predictor of success is not your intellect. It's not your socioeconomic status. It's not, what kind of car your parents drive. It's grit. It's, can you persevere? Can you stick to something against all odds? And there's a word for that in Finnish, and it's called sisu, which means perseverance beyond everything.
Right.
You just stick to something. Even when it looks like you're not going to make it, you stick to it anyway.
Right,
and we want to instill that in all of our students, that despite whatever your background and experience, whether you were fortunate and you're upper middle class or you come from not having a whole lot, you can make it. And all that takes is perseverance.
Right. Some people call it faith.
Well, yeah, a lot of people call it faith. And you know what? From that perspective as well, sticking through it, even when things are tough, if faith is what's allowing you to get to where you need to go, that's certainly something that can be part of SISU. Whatever is allowing you to persevere against all odds.
Well, thank you very much for coming today, and it's great information, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.